let me, number one, click record, because that's the most important thing, so everybody can go back and reference this. You guys have seen me many times, unless this is your first time joining our network. This is something we're really, really proud of with our partnership with Tom Ferry, is that we bring on every single month a coach from the Tom Ferry organization. And this month we have Alyssia, and I'm super excited to be talking about the topic we're talking about today, because, you know, prior to the webinar, we did a little bit of like prep and just understanding of everything. And there's just, and I've said this a lot of times throughout my career, because I've been in the lead generation space now for probably about 15 years. It's like, if you do the things we tell you to do, you will find success. And it sounds like the most simple thing, but life gets in the way, right? So that is the big thing. Take notes. This is recorded. We're going to have a handout that we're going to share. And essentially, if you do the things that Alyssia tells you to do, you will be successful. You will hit the goals that you want to hit. At the end of this call, if you've joined one of our coaching calls before, we will be raffling off a featured zip code for a year. So I'll explain what all that means for anybody, again, who's new, but we will be doing that raffle at the end. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And those of you who guys have not seen Alyssia speak, she's been in the business since 1998. She's had a team. She's been coaching since 2015, and has a wealth of knowledge. And again, what she's going to be reviewing today is what she has been doing since 1998 to be successful, to have built this team, and to be in a position to where she is coaching agents like this to the success that they see today. Alyssia, without any further ado, I hand the microphone over to you. I will monitor chat. I'll be in the background if you need me to pop back in. Please do. And then when you want me to pop up that handout, I will do it for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Deanna. Well, hello, you guys. How is everybody today? It is midweek in the middle of May. Yeah, let's do this. I'm so excited to see everybody here. So thank you for chiming in from SoCal and North Carolina, the Ozarks. So thank you so much. Like Deanna said, my name is Alyssia Essig. I have done nothing but sell real estate since I was 24 years old in 1998. And it has been an incredible career. And what I am going to teach you guys today is actually a very fundamental principle that I was taught way back then, that all I have done is evolve it and grow it. And it is one of the core principles that I use in my coaching practice with all of my coaching clients, my team members, anyone that I have ever mentored. Like, this is the foundational. And what I'm going to tell you guys is it's easy. And as we've evolved in the world of AI and everything else, all it has done is gotten easier. So without further ado, there's about 270 people here. I'm going to share my screen. And let's see here. We're going to go there, and we're going to go there, and then we're going to go here. And so this is me. Hi, how are you? If you'd like to scan that QR code, that will take you to my Blink card so you can connect with me and stay in touch. But let's talk about referrals, and let's talk about what I think is sometimes the easiest of business. And that is when you have an inbound referral that says, hey, I got your name from Joe Schmo, and he said that you are the person that will help me buy or sell. Tell me in the comments how awesome that is when you get those phone calls. Like, you get that phone call, you get that text, and you're just like, and you get off the phone and you're like, yes, right? Wouldn't it be great if the bulk of your business was that way, right? Like, when you get that phone call or that text and you're like, oh my God, what I do is working. I had a client. I was a manager for about 9 years for a brokerage brand here in the Mid-Atlantic. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. And I remember teaching this process to someone, and she came running into my office, letter in hand, and she goes, I didn't want to believe that this stuff worked, but dang it, it does. And I just got a listing appointment. And I was like, that's right. That is right. So, it always just feels so good when you get those phone calls and you get those referrals. Now, the beauty of this is a partnership with sold.com can fill in the gaps when you aren't getting the referrals, because nothing works 100% of the time. And as we all know, this is a bit of a ride of a business. So, we've got, referrals and consistency and all of that. And I'm going to do my best to make it easy for you guys today. So let's talk about a little bit of statistics. I always like to base everything that whenever I'm speaking in a little bit of statistics, because that way you're like, yeah, exactly. Now, 61% of home buyers found their real estate agent by a referral from their sphere and friends and family. Like, they are giving it if we teach them. And that's what we have. Now, you've got 19% use the same agent, 10% found through, a website or without a referral, and then another 10% inquired about a particular property. Now, how do sellers find their real estate agent? 26% use the agent from a previous transaction, and 48% got a referral from a friend, family, or neighbor. You take those two together and you are squarely at nearly 80% of all transactions were either their past client or a referral. So there is a very big case here for this strategy. Now, let's talk about who might use their agent again, right? So 90% of home buyers said they'd use their agent again, and 87% said that 87% of buyers, 90% of buyers will use their agent again. 87% of sellers will use their agent again. So these stats are all from the NAR profile of home buyers and sellers. So if you want to take a look at that, there's some really good information in there that you can also use in your own statistics somewhere. But if you think about that and you look at those statistics, what comes to mind? Well, it's trust, right? It's the same reason that when you are on Amazon or Yelp or Google, we look at the reviews. Why? Because we believe what people say about a particular service company experience. And people want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So a personal recommendation or a referral or a friend is going to come much heavier weighted than a complete stranger. I personally went on a listing appointment this year, and when they called me, I had no idea who they were. And when I plugged their information in, they weren't connected to anybody that I knew. And so I said, how did you find me? And they said, Google. And I was like, at first I was like, ooh, cool. I went in, did my shtick. I didn't get the listing. I'm not mad about it, because I think it would have been a hard house to sell, but I didn't get the listing. Why did I not get the listing? Because who did get the listing is the personal referral. They're the ones who got the listing. And it's not that I'm not good enough or didn't present it, but they had a stronger relationship with the person that they got referred to than some random person that they happened to find on Google. And so these are part of the reasons why this foundation is foundational, because when you have that in, you have to sell a lot less. Deanna and I were chatting about selling versus service, and I'll just give you a little anecdotal. When we are out with buyers and sellers, sell less and service more. And, Deanna can have me back and we can talk about selling less and servicing more. But, and I might actually tell you another story later, but when you do that and you provide that service and they can trust you, and then they like you, and then they know you, or they feel like they know you, it's a lot easier of a conversion, if that makes sense. So in the comments, I'm gonna let this ride for a couple of seconds. Tell me how many people are in your database right now that you know of. And if you know your exact specific number, then I am super proud of you. But if you have a rough number, that's okay too. So let's see. How many people do you guys have in your database right now? So we have 3,800, 1,000, 265, 322, 4,600, 987, 1,500, right? All over the map, right? I do want to ask you, for those of you, keep going. I love it. For those of you who have, north of, 1,000 or 2 in your database, do you have a full contact record? So when I say a full contact record, so for those of you who just answered, thank you very much. Good job. And now I want you guys to answer me again. This is going to be a yes or no. Wow, 22,000. Way to go, Bart. For a full contact record, that is their full name, their mailing address, their phone number, and their email address. So out of everybody, do you have a full contact record for most of them? So I see yes, and I'm in touch with them 4 to 6 times a year. Yes, yes, complete. No, 600 full contact record. No, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. It's going to be a mix. No mailing address for most of them. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing so thank you. Lots of no's, which it's all okay. Here's the thing about not having a full contact record. Your homework from today's webinar, and I'm so excited you're here, is to go through. You said, yes, don't have time to follow up. Well, we're going to have to figure out a way to do that. But your homework is going to be to either segment your database, number one. So here's another one. How many people's databases are segmented well with like tags and groups? Just again, yes or no's are going to be good enough. Tags and groups. Like, have you grouped them into like past clients, sphere of influence, neighborhoods? Javier, yes, we are. Past clients, neighborhoods, like everything, everybody grouped relatively well. All tags, investors. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So if you have a lead flow like from sold.com or somewhere else, which, nothing's as good as sold.com. But if you have a lead flow from anywhere that is an online lead flow, you likely know that your groups, or you will have leads in your database that may only have an email address, or maybe just a name and an email address, and you don't have the phone number, you don't have the mailing address. However, what I am looking for primarily is for those of you who have big databases, again, north of 2,000, 3,000, 10,000, 22,000 people I saw, we want to segment out the people that you know. So this is your actual, the people that you know, that you have seen in person. Maybe you sold them a house, they're a past client, and if you know all of them, excellent. If you don't, that's okay too. We're going to segment it into a section of the database that we will start working this strategy to. Now, for those of you who do not have any, like none of your database has a full contact record, you will add a step in order to fill out that contact record. So you've got to, and again, maybe we'll talk about it towards the end, but for those of you who don't have a full contact record, you're going to want to reach out and say, hey, I'm updating my database. Can I have your mailing address? Can I get your phone number? Like, not everybody's going to give it to you, and that's okay. It's a numbers game. For those of you who have large databases, you will be able to get some, but not all of them. When you get the full contact record, now we're going to talk about what CRM you possibly use in another slide, because I skipped a slide here. When you have a full contact record, so let's say you have 500 people in your database, right? If you have 500 people in your database and you follow this strategy pretty closely, you can have an 8 to 10% conversion of your database in any given year. So that means if you have 500 people in your database with a full contact record, you could have up to 50 transactions just from your database annually. Just from your database. Sold.com will help you grow your database. And that is what's important. So when you get these leads from Sold, you're going to add them right into this strategy and this system. Now, you're going to do that and put it into a CRM. I can't necessarily tell you which CRM. I see somebody's using Follow Up Boss, etc. There are a bunch of CRMs. Here's what you want. What you want in a CRM is you want to be able to use it. I love Tom Ferry because he says, use the CRM that you're going to use, which means if you don't want to pay for anything, look at whatever brokerage you are with, number one. Number two, if you have something, make sure you use it. If you're not using it, your next set of homework is to make sure that you go out and either go onto YouTube or go into the platform of your CRM and, do the training tutorials, go to YouTube and say best practices for such and such a CRM. Teach yourself. It's kind of like when I'm teaching a brand new agent this, I say to people, do you drive a car? And many people will say yes. And what happens if you don't either charge your car or put gas in it? You're not going to go anywhere, right? This, using a CRM, having a database, using this is like putting gas in your real estate business. It's putting gas into your business so that you can keep going. Okay. So I see people using Wise Agent, Bold Trail. Yes, the best CRM is the one that you use. Follow Up Boss, KV Core. Again, many of your brokerages, if you guys are with larger brokerages, they'll have something for you. If you aren't or don't like it, then look at whatever it is you can. Don't spend a ton of time on it. Look at the features, be able to set up action plans, groups, things like that. Lone Wolf, Close, all of these things should be good for you to be able to use and fill out a full contact record. Getting up every day, going to work, the first thing you should be doing is logging into your CRM. You should be saying, okay, who do I need to add? Who do I need to talk to? Who do I need to reach out to? Whatever, right? All of that should be right there in your CRM. Some CRMs have automatic action plans where stuff can go out to continue to nurture. Some have action plans that you have to manually say, yes, I want to send that. Whatever it is, just make sure you use it. And when you are setting up your daily schedule, you have to log into your CRM every day. Period. End of story. Okay. So you may think, why does she have carrots, celery, and onions? So do I have any cooks in the house? Because if you're a cook, then you know that every great recipe tends to start with a foundation of 3 ingredients, right? Soups. This is a mirepoix. We've got celery, onions, and carrots. You want to make cookies or cakes, it's sugar, butter, and flour. You want to make, right, the Holy Trinity, right? It's a mirepoix, exactly. Everything you make in the kitchen starts with typically 3 basic ingredients. And the thing about this strategy today that we're going to be talking about is 3 basic ingredients. And what that is very simply send, call, and see. So the beauty of this is it's just like a mirepoix or the Holy Trinity, whatever, or your basic cookie recipe, whatever you want to do, call it. This is that foundational. Now, if you think about a mirepoix or your basic cookie recipe, right? Those basic cookie recipes or the mirepoix will you turn into anything, right? You can take a mirepoix and you can make, an Italian soup. You can make a cream-based soup. You can make all kinds of things. Sugar, butter, flour, chocolate chip cookies, sugar cookies, almond cookies. It doesn't matter because that foundation is the foundation and you add in your own little spice. And that is coming from the spicy ginger that I am. So you add in your own secret sauce and now you have your own soup, recipe, cookie, whatever you might be. It is no different here with the 3 ingredients of database domination: send, call, see. And today you're going to walk away with the ability to create your program with your own garlic. You're right, Eugene, with your own spices and your own flavor and flair to make this custom for you. Are you guys excited for this? Don't all talk at once. Yes, love it. Okay. The next one. So let's talk about send. So first we need to define it. And sending is sending something with no expectation of a reply. And that's really understanding that you're just sending stuff, right? If you look in your inbox any given day, how many emails have you gotten from, Banana Republic and whatever window company or whatever? You're not replying to those emails. You just get them. And when you get them, you see them. You know exactly what's there, right? Like you see it every day. They're sending you stuff every single day. You don't reply, but I bet you on once in a while you click those links and you take a look at it. There's no expectation of a response in the send. Now, the send is also both something in their physical mailbox and something in their email inbox. Now, this is why when we talked about your CRM and your contacts, that you need a full contact record. Now, I don't want those of you who are here to go, oh my God, I don't have their mailing address. I only have their email. That's okay. This is where we're going to start. We're going to start with their inbox. And if we can get their mailing address, then we will add them into the physical mailing address. Now, what are we mailing? Right? You can mail all kinds of things. And yes, this is an expense, but you can also do it relatively cheap. And I'm going to tell you, I ran a team of 10 or 11 people. We sold 130 houses in a year, and we hand mailed a newsletter monthly to over 1,000 people. We created it, printed it, folded it, stuffed it, labeled it, stamped it, took it to the post office. So for some of you who have smaller databases, I saw a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there. You just do this while you're watching TV at night, or you pay your kid to do it. It doesn't have to be that expensive. So from a budget perspective, there are newsletter templates on Etsy and all kinds of things that you can grab. You can ask ChatGPT, Claude, whatever your AI preferred thing is, to say, hey, create me a newsletter. Claude is actually really good at creating presentations and newsletters. You could say, hey, this is what I want to include. Claude will make it for you, or you can subscribe to a postcard program. And honestly, the little magazine program does a pretty good job as well. I personally use the magazine program, and my clients love it. They call me all the time. They send me pictures of it, and they're like, I love this. This is great. Never stop sending it to me. I am now back down to a solo operation. I don't have a team anymore. It's just me. I don't have the capability anymore to do the whole newsletter, and my kids are in college or out of college, and they're not here to help me. So I send the magazine. This is where you go. In their mailbox, you want something that they can physically touch and see your face. Why? Because when we get to the inbox, you're going to see it's just like those Banana Republic or, whatever emails you get that you ignore, so to speak. You keep going by, because we need both sides. I was coaching an agent while I was managing. This was maybe, 2010. And the brokerage that we worked for at the time had a postcard program. And I finally convinced her to use the postcard program and put her database on the postcard program. And she had small kids at the time. And she said she came home and she's pulling her child out of the car, and out from a neighbor's house comes a neighbor, postcard in hand, saying, Ashira, I got your postcard. I have a question, right? Sending this helps provide a foundation for the conversations. So there's less selling. Deanna and I talked about that. I alluded to our little conversation. There's less selling that needs to be done because you're already presenting yourself as the local expert and trusted advisor. This neighbor that came out, my agent that was in my office, she didn't have to go door knock or anything because the postcard did the job for her. It landed in their mailbox, and then they did it. Vanessa says, what if those people we have in our CRM from an event bridal expo? Again, Vanessa, if you don't have a full contact record, but maybe you have phone and email, give them a call and just, we're going to talk about the conversations in a second, but give them a call and then work in like, hey, I'd love to stay in touch more. I send out a newsletter that's really helpful and informative. Can I add you to that mailing list? Most people are going to say yes. Sometimes people are going to say no, and that's okay. And you can just make a note in your CRM about that. So if you want to automate the newsletters, another process, again, CoreFact, Elevated, Aidit, the personal marketing company, Keeping Current Matters, CoreFact, Wise Pelican, the personal marketing company, Express Docs, Quantum. There are a ton of options to, if you want to pay for someone to do these for you, where you can just upload that database list and say, send something out once a month. That's an easy way to do that. The beauty of this is once you get this, it's kind of like you set it and forget it. You just let it run. You just keep sending. And when you keep sending, that is the very beginning of the foundation of them seeing you. So you've got, wait, hold on. Whoops. There we go. Now, same thing for monthly inbox ideas. Now, in my ideal coach world, like my coaching clients will send 2 things out via email and 1 thing out via mail. So that is the perfect goal. That would be what I would love to see you guys all doing. If you can only get 1 thing out in the, via email, that's okay too. But here are also some other ideas. So you can literally just, again, oops, I didn't mean to go back. There we go. Ask your favorite AI, I want a quick email to send out to my database. That's a quick note. Just thinking about you, hey, a great way to do in the very beginning of the year, this one's really awesome. Save this, like put a reminder in your phone to send this out early January. When you send out your January one, actually tell people, hi, hope you're well, happy new year, blah, 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 blah. Here's my, thoughts about the next year. I guess next year is going to be 2027. So here are my thoughts about next year. Here are my thoughts about the real estate market. Here are my thoughts about our town or city. And oh, by the way, I have a goal of helping X number of people buy or sell real estate. Can I count on you for a referral? Now, I'm going to lean into this because we teach people how to treat us. And if we don't ask them to do it, they don't even know. It's not that they don't want to. They don't even know. One of my little tricks is, how many of you have ever had a client that will go, they fall over themselves going, oh my God, I know I'm such a difficult client. I'm so hard. I'm so difficult. Now, the funny thing is, you and I both know that those people are actually not the difficult ones. The ones who think they're difficult are usually the nicest, and the ones who have not a clue that they are difficult are actually the ones that are difficult. But when someone says that to you, that is your great opportunity to go, you're not difficult, but if you think you are and you think you owe me something, you just have to refer me all your friends and family for the rest of your life. I'm telling you, say these things. People are okay with it. They laugh. They go, oh, okay, no problem. I got you, right? They will support your business. You just have to train them to do so. So this January newsletter, right? Hey, can I count on you for 1 referral? Do it. Then we've got an email newsletter. Again, you can do this from Personal Note, Marketing Update. You can download a template from Etsy or wherever you want to. These are things that you can do. That's an email newsletter. Sometimes you could take the paper newsletter that you created and just send it in an email. It doesn't matter because you know what? They might have thrown away the one that you sent to them and then you haven't seen it in the email or vice versa. So it's okay. The next one is a featured property or deal of the month, right? Spend some time in your MLS or create yourself a search for whatever you think is fun and sexy or exciting in your market, and send people, hey, these are the featured properties of the month, or here's your deal of the month, or here is your, opportunity of the month. Know any investors? Know anybody who would, who want to do this? There's so many ways you can do featured property and deal of the month. It's awesome. There's also deal of the week email, right? So now that would be 4 emails a week. But deal of the week is also great. You could just type it in. It doesn't have to be a, curated MailChimp, anything. It can just be an email that says, hey, hope you're well. You're not in the market right now, but I just came across a property in Nashville, literally 10 minutes from downtown, that might be one of the very best deals on the market. Here are the details. Who do you know in your network that's in the market and might be interested? Deal of the week, right? So this is just, now remember, all we are doing is sending 1 thing in their mailbox and at least 1 thing in their inbox. So that's what we are asking for. And remember, there is no expectation of a reply here. You have to stay top of mind, and we have to teach them to send us referrals. Now, we got a question that says, are those my own listings or am I promoting other deals in hopes of getting a buyer? Angie, you can promote whatever you want. If you happen to have your own listings, then promote your own listing. If you don't have any listings, promote something else. Hey, I came across this house that was for sale. It's in a great area. I think, it's been on the market for, 20, 30 days, 60 days, depending on your market. Sometimes here in my market, we're still on, a week or two if the property is marketed well. I know other markets aren't exactly that way. Christina, you said per week or per month. The goal is minimum 1 mailing and 1 email per month. If you can do more than that, as you said here on the inbox ideas, we've got a deal of the week. That would be 4 emails, featured property, deal of the month, email newsletter, or a quick note. Any of these can be in any combination. You can do it more. You can do it weekly. You can do it bi-weekly. You can do it monthly. The goal is minimum 1 and 1 each month. So Kim says, do a chat GPT of historical places. It's in the area. Yes, exactly. So the goal here is obviously to demonstrate that you are the local expert and trusted advisor. And that is the goal. And the beauty of this is when you do this, your conversations and your engagements will be much more personal because you won't have to talk about business. So Jeannie says, what is too much? I'm going to tell you a quick story. I coached a guy in New Jersey, just outside of New York City. And his passion was, I think, either screenplay writing or filmmaking or some sort. And that hadn't worked out. And so he got into real estate. And the challenge with real estate for him was he was not really proud of being in real estate. So he thought that anything was too much because he didn't really want to promote that because what he really wanted to be doing was something else. And so what I have learned is that there can't be too much because you are demonstrating that you are the local expert and trusted advisor. And here's the thing. Will people unsubscribe? They will. And that's okay because some people have to have inbox zeros and they don't like all the stuff. I have sent postcards and I've gotten yelled at for sending postcards. But at the end of the day, we have to stay and understand that there's a numbers game. If you're sending an email a week and that's too much, then pull back. Kim, I'm not Kim. Who said too much? Jeannie. You have to decide what you're comfortable with, but we cannot be secret agents. We have to remind people what we do for a living. And that is we help people through the real estate process. And the best way is for getting referrals. So that's what you're asking for. And you're doing that by serving them things like the deal of the week or, clean out your gutters if you're, in some place where the gutters get full and before wintertime or, winterize your hose bibs, things like that. Yes, it is. And sometimes to us, it seems elementary and it seems like a lot, but people filter on their own. And the whole point is we want it to land when either they've had an opportunity to be, around other people. And when they're talking to other people and someone's like, yeah, I'm thinking about buying a house this year. Then that person just got your email and it's like, oh my God, you got to call my person. She sends me a deal of the week every single week. She's like, awesome. She's so smart. She helped us buy our house and I love it. And I call her for everything. Like that is the thing. Tone says that's been my problem. Complacency and being a secret agent. You cannot be a secret agent. You just won't sell as much real estate and you won't make the money that you can make. This business can make you so wealthy if you play your cards right. And this strategy doesn't even cost a lot of money. This is the most expensive part of it. Actually, no, I lie. It's not that expensive, but let's move on. So let's go to here. Now let's go to the second piece, which is call. Now, call is reaching out with an expectation of a response, right? So that's easy. It's a phone call, it's a text message, or a social media direct message. Commenting on someone's social media is not considered a call because someone has posted a photo of, their kids' kindergarten graduation. You're like, oh my God, so cute, right? And maybe they're like, thank you, but I promise you, they've forgotten about it. But you know what you can do is instead of making that comment, you can send a message and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe your baby is now starting first grade. That's incredible. Now that person will respond with intention, without a doubt. So this second piece to this is call, reaching out with an expectation of a response. So actual phone call. Hey, how are you doing? Text message. What's going on? Or a social media direct message like we talked about. Now let's talk about the text messages. So there is a, yep. So this is, remember, you are a business person. You are a professional. So you can shoot off a text to someone in your database that says, do you have 2 minutes for a quick business call? Now, what's going to happen is the entire environment is going to shift, because a lot of people in my, whether I'm coaching them or whatever, feel good. They always say their biggest objection with realtors is, I don't want to call people because A, I don't know what to say, or I don't want to bother them, or whatever. Okay. When you set it up by sending this text that says, would you have 2 minutes for a quick business call? That changes the tone completely to say, I'm calling you about business. Now, this might be someone, maybe you haven't talked to them in a while, and they're like, why is she calling me about business? Now, you might get a few responses. One of them might be no response. They might just not respond to you. Another one might be like, sure, I can talk now, or sure, I can talk later, or whatever. Some of them might just turn around and call you, right? Either way. So Patrick says, I asked them to call me. Try this. I challenge you, dare you, so to speak, to send this text. Do you have 2 minutes for a quick business call? And then you call them if they say yes. Sometimes they might call you after this. Now, here's the script for the 2 minutes business call. The 2 minute business call is very, very simple. It's, hey, I have two things to talk to you about. Number one, and you can give them a quick market update. The market's kind of wonky here, interest rates, whatever you want to talk about it. And you're going to finish that with, I have houses who can't find buyers and buyers who can't find houses. Now, depending on your market conditions, you may want to just say, I have houses who can't find buyers. If you are in a different market, you might say, I have buyers who can't find houses. Either way, you can also do both. I have buyers who can't find houses and houses who can't find buyers. And I'm calling my favorite people to see if you know anybody who's thinking about moving. Now, I kid you not, I was teaching this strategy to my team in 2017. And I basically said, pull up your phone, scroll through, pick somebody. And they all did it. And then I did it. And when I did it, I called some random person who wasn't even in my database. She was a fellow mom that I would stand next to when our kids played field hockey. And I called her up and I said, hey, do you have 2 minutes for a quick business call? She said, yeah, sure. What you got? And I was like, I'd love to schedule dinner, lunch with you guys. And by the way, I have houses who can't find buyers and buyers who can't find houses. Do you know anybody who's thinking? Now, 99% of the time, when you say that, they're going to be like, I don't know anybody right now. Right. And that's when you're like, yeah, I'm sure I caught you off guard, but I just wanted to put a little plug in your ear in case you do come across somebody who is looking for a house. I've got some really great listings that, would love a new homeowner, or I've got some really great buyers that just can't find the house that they're looking for. When I called that woman, I kid you not, I was like, do you have anybody, houses who can't find buyers, buyers who can't find houses? Do you know anybody who's thinking about looking for a house? And she went, oh my God, yeah. And she was like, blah, blah, blah. I got a listing out of it. One phone call. That was it. So this is where the call comes in. And the thing is, when you're doing the send and you then say, do you have time for a quick business call? They're going to know because you've been sending them stuff. So they're all going to, and they might even go, oh, I love the stuff that you're sending, or, blah, blah, blah. So there's that. Okay. So that's the business call. Now, here's what's really cool. And one of the handouts, or the handout that I'm going to give to you, and Deanna, if you want to load that in so that they can go ahead and download it, is AI prompts to help you build this whole thing. So I don't leave you hanging high and dry. I said that there's a lot of homework and, this and that. Here's the thing. I want you to follow the prompts to build out your send, call, see. But This prompt right here is, I attended a sold.com webinar called Turning Relationships into Revenue about database domination and building a referral-based real estate business. The 3 core strategies are send, call, see, consistent touch points that will keep you top of mind. Based on what I learned, give me 10 ready-to-use talking points and conversation starters that I can use when reaching out to past clients in my sphere. For each one, include the talking point itself, a short script I can use, blah, blah, blah. So this text is right here. It's right there. It will give you all of the options. So this is for the call. Now let's talk about C, because it's 1:40 and I know you guys, somebody said they got to bounce, but we're going to keep going. So C is obviously in person. So these are, coffees, lunches, meals, events, drop-offs, meaning like you drop off a little gift, social media video. Now, if you notice on the social media video, there's a couple asterisks there, and I'll get to that in a second. C in person is the final ingredient. We have to do elbow to elbow, belly to belly. We've got to see these people and bond with them. Now, social media in and of itself can also provide a platform where, somebody had a grandbaby, drop off a gift. Somebody's got a new puppy, drop off a gift. Someone graduated from their doctorate program, drop off a gift. Now, notice I didn't say send a gift. I said drop off a gift. Knock on the door. It is so very important for you to see them in person. The other thing is, when you are creating your schedule, so one of the things I work with my coaching clients and anybody else that I mentor is creating your ideal week. In your ideal week, you should have white space or carve out maybe Thursdays or Fridays. I was just talking to one of my clients this morning and we were looking at her ideal week and she was like, yep. She's like, Friday is my day to meet with clients and spend some time to nurture them so that we will, so that when I'm on Saturdays, I'm showing houses or I'm working so I can then, network with my people. So these are coffees, lunches, meals. Jeannie, you're going to get the whole slide deck. So it's in there. So coffees, lunches, meals, super duper important. I'm coaching another person in a very, very, very high end luxury market. It is a primary home market, but it is a luxury home market. She is very well networked. I'm like, we need to lean into meeting with people all the time, weekly meetings. Let's talk about events. Events are client appreciation events. You can do an appreciation event. You could do a big bash, a small bash. You could do curated dinners. People do movie nights, all kinds of things. Here are the event examples. Host of, at your favorite sports venue. I have a client in Arizona and she does a spring training client appreciation event where what she does is she invites all of her past clients to the spring training venue for, I think the Diamondbacks train there or maybe the Cubs or somebody, but they train there. And so she invites them to a game. And that's one of her client appreciation events. I have another client who has created an organization called Power of 100, where, but it's women, Power of 100 Women. So she gathers 100 women for luncheon. And what they do is they all gather together, have a luncheon. They actually collect donations, and then they give the donation to somebody. In the spirit of that, I have another client up in Massachusetts that does something called a big tip brunch, where they actually invite their past clients and or vendors, and everybody contributes $100, and they give the server that ginormous tip at the end of it. These are all things that make people feel good, and they're excited, and they want to contribute. They feel appreciated, etc. Another one here, pies and Prosecco. This is something that you may or may not have heard of, but in the fall, that is kind of a reverse party where people come and get a pie for Thanksgiving, a cookie decorating class for Mother's Day. Like, these are the types of events. You can do them where you spend a lot of money. You can spend a little bit amount of money. Way back in the early 2000s when I first started, I did a very big barbecue event every early fall because it was nice. It was after the push of the summer. And it coincided with my husband's birthday. And so we just had a party and we just invited everybody. And when you run a referral-based business, you know what happens? Everyone knows everybody at your party because they've all referred you. And so then you have all these people, they all know each other, and it's pretty fun. So take that out. So now let's talk about the social media side of things, of the C part, right? So social media that is their opportunity. Now we talked about, send is one way with no expectation of the response. Call is, back and forth. And then C is obviously belly to belly. However, social media is not. And social media is one way. But what we want is we want them to be able to see who you are. I had another client who's been I get a lot of coaching clients that are like overwhelmed with, yes, the party was at my house. I get a lot of clients that are overwhelmed with a lot of the education about all of the, putting out so much stuff on social media. And what I want to do is I'm not relieving you from the obligation of posting on social media, but what I do want to help you out with is it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, perfectly poshed social media sometimes gets passed on by. So be authentic, be yourself, be real. And the point is you have to show. So that's where this says passive visibility. They need to see who you are. They want to see. Now you may say, well, I put out real estate content and I don't get nearly as much, comments or clicks compared to when I post a picture of my dog or kid, or in my case, everybody loves my husband. When I put him on my social media, man, it is just constant. I mean, yeah, he's pretty, he's handsome, but I don't know why people like it. They comment so much when I include him in my posts, but they do. The point of the matter is, if you remember several slides back, people want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So when they see that you're a dog person, or you like to go kayaking, or you're a runner, or you like to cook, you're a wine connoisseur, whatever it is, they will connect and bond with that. So that is why that is important. But the second bullet point, which is building trust through expertise, this is your opportunity to be able to continue. Like if you're sending out either emails or newsletters, go ahead and talk about that online. Go ahead and do a reel, do something on YouTube and put a short out there and send your traffic to YouTube. There is a whole host of ways that you can do this two things: know, like, and trust. Right? So talk about what you do personally and who you are as a person. Do less BS. Excuse me, and I'm sorry. Can we do less BS? Ooh, I'm writing a contract today. Nobody cares. Right? Just, can we stop that? That was cold delay. No, he's pretty handsome. Anyway, but can we do less BS on, that kind of stuff, or the fun, be honest as to who you are. Show who you are, and then give real content. I have a client in Martha's Vineyard who has done more authentic content, and she just picked up a new seller, and the seller said that she was the only one that was actually educating and not doing BS social media content. Provide valuable content. You are the local expert and trusted advisor. That should be your North Star when it comes to content. And then lastly, obviously creating that personal connection, and make sure that you are going ahead and showing some of the personal stuff. You get a puppy, talk about your puppy. You like to bike ride? Fine. You're going on vacation? Go on vacation. So I'm going to show you this. So this it's an old post. It's one of my coaching clients from years ago. Her name's Lauren Lambatis. She's out in not Long Beach. Where is she? She's in Orange County, California. And this video from Instagram is actually of her cookie party that she did. And she writes here, I almost forgot to post about our almost awesome client event. We crammed nearly 60 people, 60 of our most beatific and favorite women in my backyard, and hosted a cookie decorating event. We celebrated being mamas, even if that meant being mamas to four-legged cuties. We laughed, ate, drank, and had the best time ever. Huge thanks to, I guess, the two people that brought some of the stuff. And, she's just grateful. I love each and every one of you. This girl, Lauren Lambatis, sells 50 plus homes a year, 100% from her database. 100% from her database. She doesn't do anything. And so the relationship with your database and sold.com filling in and adding and helping you grow your database is a powerful combination. So let's go to the next one. So I'm going to close with one of my favorite quotes, which I actually did get out of a fortune cookie many, many years ago. And I taped it on my monitor probably 20 plus years ago. And it's good luck is the result of good planning. And the thing is, if you want those come list me, come help me buy calls that we talked about at the very, very beginning of this call, you have to make the plan. You have to do the plan. And that is where, putting this plan together, you said, do you pay for the dinner? Do you get sponsors to pay? Thank you, Nazla. When I was a puppy agent and I was in my 20s, my mentors made me absolutely neurotically scared of antitrust violations. So I didn't let anybody pay for anything. And I actually still don't. It's just part of me. But if you've got a title company, a mortgage lender that wants to support and can help offset some of the costs, do it. Otherwise, things don't have to be super expensive for them to be effective. They have to be fun, memorable. You have to present yourself as that local expert and trusted advisor. And with the partnership with sold.com and a good database domination plan, you guys will knock the rest of 2026 out of the park. So thanks for having me, Deanna.
No, this is so good. I mean, just even we bought our house in December last year, 2025. I'm like, what year are we in right now? But I get text messages from the agent constantly. We live in San Diego, and so we're close to Temecula. If those who are familiar, has a little wine country out there, and they just host little wine nights. We're client appreciation wine night. And they've done it at people at the broker's house, at the broker's office too, where they just have bottles of wine set up. And that's all it takes too. So if you're thinking this big catering event, just have bottles of wine and champagne out there. Or hire a taco guy, right? When we were shopping for our house, there was open houses where there was taco people out there, and those are pretty affordable, but they go such a long way. And again, I can understand why this brokerage is one of the top ones out here, because they do these client appreciation. They did a Christmas party, but they're staying top of mind for us. And she's reaching out, we did a remodel on the house. She checked in to see hey, can I come check out the remodel and see how it's going? She's posting that on her social media pages. Although she sold she's not making any more money off of me right now, but is hoping that as more people move into our town, as we potentially want to do something in the future, she has really set herself up as this go-to person that wasn't just a transaction that I completed November 30th.
Exactly. She wants you to, and I tell people this at the buyer consultation or the listing. I'm like, look, I want you to be my client for life. I will sometimes tell people, hey, just so you know, you're stuck with me forever because, and I don't say this if I don't like them, I'll be honest. But most of the time I like most of the people. And I'm like, you're stuck with me because I'm going to want to check in and see how your life is going and, and hang and talk to you. And you're going to get invited to my events and you're going to see my mailings. And I want you to, and I say, I want you to send me all of your friends and family. Don't be shy in saying that. I want you to send me all of your friends and family.
Set your intentions out there. I think there's this concept of the fine balance of don't be so pushy, right? Where you're all you care about is selling, but also don't set yourself up to where they don't even know what you offer and what you do. You have an intention there to earn their business or their friends and family's business. So put that intention out there of what you guys are trying to do as you help them do these different things.
Actually, hold on one second. Yeah. Alejandro asked a really good question. So, Alejandro, but even people that did not buy yet, 100%. So this is where the bridge with sold.com comes in, right? So you will get leads from sold.com. It doesn't matter whether they transact with you right now. This is another opportunity to build another raving fan of Alejandro, right? So this is your opportunity. You add them in, send call C, you add them in. Now, do you need to necessarily invite them to your events? Maybe not, because that's more client appreciation. But can you, drop something off, have coffee, do whatever? It doesn't matter. I got a lead from another portal in 2017. I showed the house. This girl goes, I don't need an agent. I'm a lawyer. And I was like, all right, whatever, lady, right? Turns out we actually became friends. Now, the funny thing is, she never sold her house. She never bought another one. But you know what she did do? She just sent me her best friend that's going to sell 2 houses and buy another one, right? I became friends with her, obviously, but before we were friends, I added her to the list. I added her to the stuff. I added her to the program. And she not only said, okay, this girl actually is legit and knows what she's doing. And I can take my lawyer, face mask off and be like, oh, we're okay, because she trusts me, because I demonstrated that. And that's how you do that with Send Call C. So when you're getting leads from sold.com, it's okay. Yes, add them directly in. Don't write them off just because they're not selling today, tomorrow, next week, 6 months from now, or a year. That is kind of not smart. Keep them in your database.
We live in an instant gratification world with all parts of us, right? Like we go to the gym once and we're like, on the scale, we're checking our pants. Like, yeah, like I had a salad and I'm like, go wait, right?
Have I lost 10 pounds yet?
Yeah, exactly. And so like, I get it. We live in an instant gratification world, but you can't let that, I should actually say we're letting that get in the way of what our end goal is. Because like one thing I wrote down that was like really stood out to me, which was honestly just a passing statement that you made, was when you were making phone calls to people and you're asking them like, hey, I have, homes without buyers and buyers without homes. Do you know anybody? You said 99% of the time, the answer is no. But that's typically what makes you quit, right? Because you're like, this is a waste of time. You have to go in with the right expectations that 99% of these people that you're calling are going to tell you, no, I don't know anybody, and like, be like, no, I don't know, right? Like, and make it feel awkward. You've got to power through and keep doing it. Like, no matter what you are selling, it's a numbers game. The more people you call, but then like you said, you're planting a seed. They may have just been like, yeah, no, Alyssia, like, I don't have anybody, but that's still in the back of their head. And that doesn't mean that they're not going to go to lunch with their friend tomorrow who's like, oh, we're thinking about selling. And then she's like, oh, I just had this conversation with somebody yesterday. So it literally is just about like, don't get in your own way, like, and expect the instant gratification. The same way as we think like buyers are crazy with how they want the instant stuff. Sellers are crazy when they're like, why isn't my house sold? And we think that that is so nuts that they don't have the proper expectations, but we're doing the same exact thing by expecting a lead to come in from really any lead source and expect them to be ready to buy and ready to sell as soon as you get those. The honest fact is, if any lead company was generating those types of leads, they wouldn't be a lead generation company, they'd be a brokerage. So this is where, like with sold.com stuff, like we are very, very open with the fact that these are early stage sellers. They're not cold leads. They are early stage people. You're talking to them first. So as Alyssia's talking about building your database. So for those of you guys who said you have a couple hundred people in your database, it's time to build that stuff up, because you need a network of people that you're fishing within, right? So you can't, like, if you're fishing in a pond that has 40 fish, like, you're probably not going to catch much. But if you're fishing in a pond that has 10,000, then you could probably throw your lure in there with no matter what bait it is and catch something. Terrible analogy, because I know absolutely nothing about fishing, but it felt like it resonated and got the point across. But you're getting in first, but don't get in your way, because I cannot tell you how many customer service, and I'm going to call them complaints, I have within the first 30 days of people joining the sold.com network. They're getting leads. The lead problem isn't the issue, but they're like, I haven't got a listing from this yet. And I'm like, number one, we do a lot of expectation calls. We do a lot of coaching calls where everyone is like, that it should never be your expectation. Like, it is conversations, it's building this pipeline, and we're trying to help you understand. But any lead company that tells you that you're going to get some sort of success in 30 days, run from that. I'm not saying you can't get lucky, because I've been, again, in this space for a long time where I've had people tell me like, my first lead converted. And I'm scared because I'm like, okay, let's reset expectations.
Exactly.
Like, because now you're like, every other lead sucked, right? So keep like, please, please, please embed that into your head of like 99% of the time of these efforts, and maybe that's not the right stat for everything, but the majority of these are going to be no's, I'm not ready, I'm just curiouses. And you have to work through those, because even the I'm just curious on a home valuation still shows intent, and they might just have that smoke screen up. So like I said, we're going to give away a free featured zip code. So please stay on the line for me to give a poll that will help you guys enter that. But I want to go through quickly how those sold.com leads are created, so that you guys can think about how you want to utilize sold.com to help you as we're in May. And if your year isn't where you need it to be, like, time is now, right? Like, you need to start doing something. And so we are generating all the leads for you. We are setting up appointments for you. And then we are sending those down to the agent. And then these are people who are requesting home valuations. These are people requesting cash offers on properties. I get a lot of people who turn their nose up at cash offers because they're not understanding how to utilize that. They're like, well, I don't want to talk to a cash offer client. 80% are, actually more than that. Most people do not go with a cash offer because it sounds sexy on paper. And then they actually get the offer and they're like, ooh, that's not great. Like, I'm going to make $750,000 off of my $1 million house, because they're about 75 to 80% of fair market value. But what you want to do, and what we've been talking about, is service. You need to be the one-stop shop. If they want a cash offer, get them a cash offer. Give them the cash offer that they can get, $750,000, and then tell them, but I'm positive that if I list your property and we get it on the market, that I can actually get you 980, right? Because those are probably realistic numbers. So if you're telling me, Sandy, that you don't care what you get, you're in financial distress and you need to sell this house immediately, then sure, a cash offer would be the right plan. But if we're not in that situation,
or
you can do a cash offer.
You can combine the cash offer with the deal of the week and send that out to your database.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Sorry.
So what we find, no, please, and I'm speaking fast just to run through this stuff because I know people allotted an hour, but what we see conversion-wise, 10% of our home valuation leads list within the first 12 months. So that is the expectation, 10%. That's still a great number, right? But that still means 90% doesn't mean they're not interested, aren't going to do something in the first 12 months. So keep that perspective in mind. But those 22% of the people who requested cash offers list with an agent in the first 12 months. So it takes time, but don't turn your nose up to cash offers. Also, cash offer companies have wised up that they need agents, and so they pay you commissions. So don't think that like cash offer companies are your competition anymore. It's not either or. It is, you should be taking your client to a cash offer company, and some of them will pay you a full commission on them. If you need help with that, we have partnerships that we can help you understand what that looks like. When you joined sold.com, what you joined was an agent directory. What you all should have done is gone into your profile, added yourself to all the zip codes that you want to show up in the directory for, so that when our concierge team starts to call, you are in that directory, and then we sort order those agents based off of who's converting the most amount of the leads that we've given them in the past, and then who has the most amount of MLS transactions. So that's the default sort order of when you add yourself to 60467, this is the default sort order. So Steve, Christina, Michael, they're either converting the most of our leads or they have the most MLS transactions in that area. So then that is where a lot of you guys have received the emails about featuring your profiles. And featuring your profile, what that means is getting yourself to the top of the directory. So it means that now, instead of being at maybe in the middle of the directory, right? Like, you are actually going to show up. You're going to show up at the very top. You get first access to appointments. We waive referral fees when we don't set up appointments for you. So we have a ton of information that we give you, and that gets you to that featured profile, so that now you're at the top of that agent directory for the zip codes that you want to be seen in. I'm popping up a poll because, again, I want to be efficient on time because I know we've gone over. When you guys feature a zip code, we can tell you what your lead volume is going to look like. Some companies, most companies don't do that. We will tell you how many sellers you can expect to get introduced to over the course of the year that you feature yourself. The poll that I've just popped up is asking your interest in featuring yourself. When you answer that poll, it automatically is going to enter you into the raffle to win a free year of a featured zip code. Even if you say, not interested at all, thanks, Deanna, but no thanks. So if you're hearing this and you're like, meh, I'm good on leads, I don't need anything else, click the not interested button. It still will enter you in the raffle and you still might do something like that. If you've been in the sold.com network and you've been questioning like, well, why have I been in the network and not receiving anything? Then this is where the featured agent program comes into play, where you guys would want to explore actually paying to get your profile featured at the top of the agent directory in the zip codes that you like to work. And again, we are seller focused. So what we offer on this webinar is if you aren't the lucky winner of the raffle, then you can choose to feature yourself in a zip code for a promo price of $750 a year per zip code. To give reference, again, I've been in this industry for a while. A lot of times $750 a month is a cheap price for advertising. So this is $750 a year.
That's a great deal.
Yes. And that gets you
a great deal.
Top of agent directory. It opens up waived referral fee opportunities, gets you first access to the appointments that our team sets there. And then we have our account managers, we have our agent success team helping and coaching you guys do this stuff. And then now you have all of the things that Alyssia has given you guys to work these people, but it really comes down to expectation. Poll wise, I want to make sure that, let me look at polls. Okay, cool. I'm going to close the poll in a second. So I'm going to give kind of like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown just because I want to be able to do the raffle. Anybody who's interested in getting information about the featuring themselves because they didn't win this, keep a lookout for a call from our 949 number. Our agent success team will reach out to you, tell you what that looks like in your market. And then bear with me a second. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and pull up the raffle. And Alyssia, thanks for being able to stay on a little bit longer.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Everybody for running over. Hopefully it was all good information.
I went, I think a little longer than I was probably supposed to. So I apologize.
Oh, you're all good. You're all good. I think it was all great info. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, which you're going to be able to see the back end of everything, but it's going to allow you to see our raffle so that you don't just think I'm picking something up. So if you haven't answered the poll question yet, too late.
Oh, there we go.
Draw a winner. Hopefully you guys can see my screen okay.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Who it is it?
All right, Brian Martinez, you are our winner of our free zip code. So a member of our agent success team will reach out to you.
Amazing. Congratulations, Brian.
A free featured zip code for that year of your choice. Some of those zip codes are valued up to $1,800 a year. If you want to take advantage of that promo price, like I said, please take advantage of it because a lot of our zip codes are traditionally $1,800 a year, which is still, to be honest, a steal compared to other companies that I've worked at. And if you have interest, though, answer the phone because the promo will expire end of day tomorrow, and then it will go back up to retail pricing. Recording will be sent out. Handout will be sent out. Alyssia, if you can send me your slides, I'll get those out as well.
Absolutely. They're in. I'll send them to you.
Okay, perfect. And then just to make sure that everybody knows, next month we actually have Tom himself on the webinar.
Woo! Don't miss that one.
Do not miss that one. It's typically like a pricey ticket to see Tom Ferry speak. And so it'll actually be Tom Ferry and our CEO that are going to be on this. I'm going to actually put the link in the chat. So if you guys want to register for that, otherwise you can go to your events tab in the portal. But yes, Tom Ferry will be on for our June webinar. Alyssia, this was amazing. Thank you so much for all the information. Thank you everybody for taking the time to invest in yourself, learn about this stuff. And like I said, if you do the things that Alyssia told you to do, you will find success. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.
Bye.